Hey everyone, and welcome back to another CZN video. So in today's video, guys, I wanted to talk about the Arc City a little bit. I think most people are doing this. The game kind of forces you to because they have these little red dots that every one of us players loves. Whenever they can't stop blinking, it's something that truly gets on our nerves, and that is the case here. So the game does kind of force you to do this, which is good because it does truly matter. There's a couple things that I think are just like the nickel and dime, min maxing stuff, which is the affinity system. I truly believe, and this is speculation, that they're going to revamp this. I don't think anyone likes it. So if you can make it meaningful, I think that's when people will be a little more into it. I think what a really nice thing for them to do would be is at the very end of the affinity is you put a duplication of the character that you have the affinity for. And if it's for a like a 4-star hero, if you already have the 4-star fully maxed, then you get like 10 pulls or something. That might be too generous. I don't know. But I think that would make people like that more. But there are some things that go along here. 100 gems, you get additional stats on your characters. I think if you fully max this, you get like 43 additional attack or something for your damage dealers and additional health and defense for those characters. So this is kind of whatever outside of the uh what is it? It's the I can't think of the word here. This thing, growth guide. Jeez. Yeah, outside of the growth guide stuff, like the affinities, whatever. But the policy office is really, really important to understand and know because the rewards that you can get from it are very good. And they also pertain to the items that you can get in Nono's shop. The most important one being this monthly one that you can craft very specific gear for. So that's great. They also do have some units in here, but your limits for the exchange value aren't really there. But as you see, I am buying out these research notes, which allow you to upgrade the research facility. I think some people disregard this because a lot of it is pertaining to like the affinity system and stuff like that. However, there are some really good benefits in here. These proto skills, I'm going to have a separate video talking about this because I haven't unlocked the best one yet, but I think, and this is more speculation, that these proto skills are going to be very, very important for endgame things where you think something is going to happen or you have like one turn to get something done and it doesn't work and then you fail your whole chaos run, where these proto skills allow you to rewind turns or just one specific turn. And I don't know if like this increases your chance where you just revert the entire turn back. And if you didn't crit, you can now go in and try again. And if you do crit, you win, that kind of thing. That's my speculation. But outside of that, you have a maximum amount of policies that you can have. So if you're AFK for a while, you can get up to 8 policies. And then creating the new policies, I think, is one of the more important ones. On top of that, you get some additional benefit if you go through therapy, which is one of the best ways to retain your save data if you end up like having a mental breakdown. You also have other things in here that are pretty important. The most important, in my opinion, is the additional ether. So this one, like additional energy, is awesome. So yeah, I don't think this should go disregarded. I want to max this out first because this is a type of system that in these games they always eventually add on to. So I want mine to be maxed. I'll save up my research notes or whatever. And then whenever the next thing comes out, I have a head start. So that's kind of my plan here. But there are some okay things in here that you can benefit from. But when it comes to the policy office, there's a couple things here. The first one is your whole disaster, right? Your calamity. You get to pick from 3 or 4 different ones after the days reduce. This is how many days are left. And you have to achieve these certain goals. And if you achieve your S grade, you get all of the stuff below. Now, I tend to go for the potential discs, which are those wild cards that you can put into any of your character's potentials instead of farming up the potential. I find these to be the most valuable. You do have upgrades to like your combatants and also your partners, but I tend to like to just farm those things whenever I'm trying to upgrade a character, where I tend to see using these to upgrade further and further on my most used characters to be the most useful. So, as you see here, you have aids that you can pick yourself, but the game also picks for you too if you do like a suggested one. Now, they've always tend to suggest 4 stars for me. I'm almost positive, because it would make sense logically, that if you put in 5-star characters here that have these benefits, then it's going to increase the policy grade. And I'll talk about that in a sec. But Mir here and Beryl and Lucas, they all have these different abilities where they specialize in like public order index or economic activity or administrative index. So all that means is, as you see here, the goal for these policies is to, at least on this disaster, this calamity, is to be able to achieve a higher score on your economic activity than this bar. Same thing with public order, and then same thing with administrative index. On this certain calamity, happiness has no effect on my grade. So when I'm looking through these policies that pop up, you can see here a couple things. The first one is the amount of days that are reduced. So I have 21 days left to achieve this bar being greater than my threshold over here. And if I do that, my current grade will eventually be an S, and I'll be able to get all of those resources that I had wanted to try and achieve. Where as of now, I'm only getting up to the A category and everything underneath it, where I want the 12 extra potential discs. So days reduced is an important thing, because sometimes you might be picking a policy that looks better on paper, but maybe the days reduced is higher, because the highest I've seen is like 3 or 4 days. And if you're close to the edge here and you just need more policies to go through, sometimes it's better to take the one that has less days reduced. And then here, my economic activity goes up and my reduced happiness goes down by 1. So remember, happiness has nothing to do with this policy. And currently, my administrative index is the one that's low. So that's the one I need to prioritize. This has none of that in there, where this one does bump it up at least 1. So that's the one I can go for. And you see my policies now dropped, or my calamity days dropped to 20. So that's kind of just how that policy recruitment works. But one of the things that is really great about this policy office is it can unlock special story modes in your battle missions. So it's like these subcategory battle missions, which I find to be extremely, extremely relevant. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I keep backing out of it. I'm trying to go to the next chapter. So you see, like, I have all of these sub battles, and it might not seem like much, but the rewards for beating these things, like 60,000 units, everyone knows units are kind of like the main sticking point or bottleneck for people. So the more of these you can unlock, the better. Prior to this, like prior to unlocking all these things from policies, I had like 40,000 units in the, submissions here ended up getting me all of those units back. So the more and more that you can do those policy kind of missions in the Arc City, you can possibly unlock those side missions. And the other thing that I do want to mention in this upgrade system is the amount of your impact from calamities, like reduces the amount of happiness that is decreased from calamities. Like it makes it easier to hit the S grade policies if you upgrade the active research effects. The other thing that they do give you here is they reduce the amount of time that you get the policies. And this one, you increase the chance of a special grade policy. So that's where you get more bonuses. You could even get crystals, or you can get those side quests from the battle missions. So it's one part of the game that I do think people go into just because of the red dot, but I don't know if they truly understood all of the things that were involved in it. So I figured I'd just give you a little kind of rundown of everything that's in here, and also to just speculate on the future for this. I don't think it's very hard to max this out without, I don't think you're losing a whole lot in here outside of this like special kind of material for crafting. Other than that, you're just upgrading this thing so whenever it does eventually get a reboot or adders onto it, you're kind of just ready for it. So yeah, just a quick video talking about the Arc City, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you on the next one. See ya.